Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to take you back into the woods. I happen to be wandering around. It's a little warm out, but there's a nice breeze and it's really cool in the woods. But since I was wandering about, I managed to disturb the deer herd, and I thought, well, if I disturb the deer herd and made them run away, I might as well take advantage and take a little stroll into the woods. So from a story time perspective, if that's what we're calling these now, you can see how the woods have changed already from the last time we took a walk back here. They've greened up a lot. The trees are certainly in bloom. You'll notice again, it's not a cleaned up woods. There's plenty of leaves and branches and limbs on the ground. All of that is on purpose. We do everything we can to keep things natural. Let nature have it. Let nature do its thing. You know, in real woods like these aren't real woods. Mother Nature takes care of it, so we let that happen. Now we will have to come by and take this tree. It's not really a tree, more of a branch that has fallen across this small trail that we leave open, and move that. We'll just drag it a bit off into the woods a little deeper. And we'll, of course, leave that to go back. But we need to move it for two reasons. One is I need the ability to get equipment back here if necessary. And keeping this trail passable, which is about as much as maintenance as we do, is important. Second is just it helps having what I'll call the wildlife runway, right? Where if something needs to get away from a predator, it has a path that it can do that. That would happen in nature no matter what. There'd be trails, etc. But, you know, there's no reason why if the humans need a path, we can't maintain it a little bit for the animals too. So, what am I going to tell you today? There are so many silly stories. So many things that we've done wrong over the years, so many things that we've learned from. So I guess let me tell you the story of our first ducklings. I mentioned in the History of the Farm series that we kind of inadvertently ended up with a pond on farm version 1.0 because of the wetlands, because of the way the property was graded, and how water just collected. At that point, we still had guinea fowl, so we had outdoor birds, we had goats, we had the donkeys, we had outdoor animals. So really wanted to add, and we decided to add ducks primarily because ducks are hilarious and they're fun, and we weren't planning on getting chickens at all. We had the guinea fowl. We didn't need chickens. We aren't that big egg eaters, and I wasn't going to do an egg stand or anything. So, you know, the ducks were really going to be kind of personal pets, fun. Little did I know what an adventure that was going to be. So I went and researched ducks and duck breeds, and I learned all about ducks from the interwebs. And of course, you know, that information is, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But I did narrow down my breed to two different breeds, an Ancona and a magpie. Both are black and white breeds. One is spotted, one is more patterned. And both are on they were both on the extreme, you know, endangered / threatened list of the Livestock Conservancy. So fit with our theme, even though at that point we weren't necessarily intending to do anything with the ducks other than have them. So then I went on a mission to find one of those two breeds. And I couldn't find them anywhere, right? Obviously, they're rare. I didn't expect to be able to find them around the corner or they wouldn't be rare. But wow, I couldn't find them anywhere. I couldn't find anybody who even knew about the breeds. And that was a struggle. I went through the Livestock Conservancy breeder list, contacted everybody, didn't even get responses. It was very frustrating, but I probably, again, didn't sound like I knew what I was doing. And they probably weren't interested in shipping me a couple of ducks for pets, right? So many of these little white flowers. You guys will have to tell me what they are. I'm sure one of you knows. I don't. I'll call them something that they aren't, so we won't go there. So anyway, I did finally find magpie ducks, and was able to get 4 ducklings. And for me, that's all I wanted. I had 4 ducklings. They were the cutest little things ever, and we set them up in our sunroom with a whole playpen and a litter pan full of water. We had an exit ramp, and we made sure the water wasn't too deep, because ducklings, although they swim instinctively, they don't always know how to get out of the water. So you have to make sure they have an easy way to get out of the water. In, they'll figure out on their own. Out is the critical part. You do not want them stuck swimming without an out. So we had all that set up. And the ducks grow fast. Of course, we didn't know that either. So the whole setup was too small in about a week. What did we do? We expanded it. We added extra litter boxes with bridges to new water features. And it was like, it was almost like a water park for birds in the house. By week 2, they had outgrown, the second week, I should say, right? The end of the second week, they had outgrown that. They were making a mess, ducks poop everywhere. And by the way, duck poop smells. They were starting to get big and flappy, and they were in their, what I call the penguin stage, right? They don't have feathers yet, so they don't really look like full-grown ducks, but they're standing up. They've got these little wing buds, and they just look like penguins. So we expanded for a 3rd time, right? Thinking, okay, this is it. We're going to get it big enough. It's practically the whole room at this point. We've got bigger tubs. We've got bigger ramps and bigger bridges. And, there was water everywhere. There was poop everywhere. I was cleaning every day. I loved the ducks, but woo, a lot of work. By the end of the 3rd week, they had really gotten their feathers. And at that point, we realized that they had to go outside. And they needed to go outside now. Not for the least of the reasons is they were able to push down the barriers of their pen and go walkabout overnight. So yes, one Monday morning, get up, come downstairs from the bedroom, and there are 4 ducks just running amok all over the house. They had let themselves out, and okay, well, ducks had to go. So here we are, dressed for work, setting up an emergency outdoor pen with a cover and a shelter. We didn't have their coop set up yet because we didn't think they were going out quite that fast. And yeah, in about 30 minutes, we had a makeshift area set up for them with food, with water, with shelter, with protection from predators, and boom, they were outside. So I'm going to end it there because I think that picture, that visual of us running around, remember, I'm wearing heels, I'm corporate, I'm going to the office. The husband is dressed for his office. And we're trying to set things up, maneuver things, get things ready outside while ducks are running amok in the house, pooping everywhere. And then I had to clean all that up and still get to work on time, which we both pulled off. So lessons from the farm are, before you dive into ducks, maybe know how fast they're going to grow up and be prepared for that. And 2, don't build ducky paradise in your house, because after you build and spend all that time doing it, they only use it for a couple of weeks and then they're out. Needless to say, at this point in my journey, I'm much more knowledgeable about ducks. I'm much more knowledgeable about the magpie breed. I know how to raise them. I know how to hatch them. And, we've learned some lessons over the years. So that's the story of our first ducklings. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Do you want more of these type of stories? Would love to hear your thoughts on how goofy or how poorly we manage the first few animals on our farm. I'll tell you about some of the other funny stories as we go. And I hope you enjoyed a little bit of time in the cool woods on a day that's almost 90 degrees already. We'll talk to you soon. I appreciate you being here, and I look forward to chatting with you next time. Bye for now.